So it's great to have you back, Fred, and please help me welcome.
Well, thanks, guys. It's kind of a miracle to be back. Thanks for that luminous introduction. I appreciate it. These are somber times, but we're going to get past that tonight. Perhaps this.
Hey Fred, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but can you extend that thing so you're using it?
Want me to
Microphone.
choke?
Thank you.
Wait.
Mark, can you hold them?
Wait. Have I got it? Am I dialed in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I was just nattering on about this and that. Okay. Thank you all for coming out. And for those expecting a book about wall-to-wall pickups, here's a heads up. In spite of the title, there's plenty of other stuff going on here. Romance, heartbreak, high adventure, true love, progeny, good times and bad. Plenty about chainsaws and the hazards of the arborist profession. There's an attempt to launch a writing career, and there's a periodic dalliance with teaching. There are also random meditations on what for me is the mysterious allure of pickup trucks, that mythic combination of dray horse and steed, to which I have come to attribute preternatural powers for change. In other words, this book is actually a full-blown memoir, containing everything but the kitchen sink. I think people write memoir because they think they owe themselves some kind of explanation. It's the same impulse, I think, that compels people to dump a 1,000-piece puzzle on the table and painstakingly, night after night, try to assemble it into a picture. Sometimes what emerges is the Mona Lisa, and sometimes what emerges is canine poker. In my case, it's a little bit of each. This is the introduction. I grew up on the outskirts of Flint, Michigan. We lived in a historic farmhouse on 60 acres, a so-called gentleman's farm, which is a polite way of saying it made no money. My father, an estate lawyer, worked at a bank in town, and his interest in the farm was sporadic. In the 10 years we lived there, he never owned a chore jacket or barn boots, and the pair of spats he kept in the top dresser drawer suggested that at a moment's notice he stood ready to hedge his bets. At the time, we kept 70 head of Scottish black-faced sheep. With no tractor, truck, or wagon of our own, we depended on arrangements with neighbors for hauling feed, moving stock, and the like. What we did have was a 41 Buick Limited limousine my dad bought from the local undertaker on a lark. The source of countless morbid gags, the Limited was used for extended road trips, going to church, and rounding up the occasional stray lamb. The sight of black-faced sheep riding the back of a funeral car was a curiosity to our neighbors and an embarrassment to me. I wondered, why couldn't we just have a pickup like everybody else? Our family identity seemed always a work in progress. In Flint, we were seen as rustics, but in the country, we were considered city folk. What's more, in the community of Methodists and Lutherans, we were Christian Scientists, proudly disdainful of the practice of medicine. When my brother was born, cross-eyed, the church disallowed a surgical repair, but my brother's parents proved such an ongoing affront to Dad that at the age of 12, he was sent off to boarding school, safely out of Dad's sight. I was a skinny, pale kid prone to various undiagnosed illnesses. One night I ran a fever so high my parents hung around my bed, sobbing their way through the hymn book in a display of fervor I believe literally scared me back to health. How I longed to be like the robust farm kids we knew, who never seemed to get sick at all. Meanwhile, Mom was up to the rigors of farm life before a dispiriting string of miscarriages and a frightening sepsis that nearly claimed her arm. In all, we spent 10 years on the farm, slogging through lambing season, spring storms, busted fences, and undiagnosed illnesses, human and animal. Throughout that time, Dad never seemed less than completely out of place. It's clear now he suffered from chronic depression. But for those of us sharing a house with him, this explanation would have been little comfort. Midway through our rustic experiment, when I was 9, 2 homeless saddle horses came to live with us, and my involvement with the farm got serious. I immediately fell in love with these animals. I read all I could about keeping horses while I set to converting the sheep barn into a stable. Meanwhile, our rolling stock grew increasingly challenged. We packed hay and grain in the trunks of the cars, and the growing manure piles were left to steep in the barnyard. I wanted to show the horses, but Dad wouldn't pull a trailer with our town car, the Buick Super. On the other hand, the Limited was powerful enough, but driving to a horse show in a funeral car seemed not quite in the spirit of the event. It's now hard to imagine Flint as a vibrant center of American economy, but in 1955, that town's energy and vitality was palpable. Every autumn, the departure of the shiny new vehicles on the backs of transport fleets was festive as a harvest celebration. To my boy's imagination, the GM plant was an alchemist crucible in which the raw stuff of the earth, iron ore, sand, and tree sap, was transmuted daily into a dazzling, gem-like array of vehicles, especially the pickup trucks. In this mysterious exchange, I came to believe that a pickup might be more than just a conveyance, that it was only a vehicle to provide passage between the otherwise unconnectable realms, the rural and the urban, the quotidian world of farm chores and the realm of the spirit, the chasm between my boyhood dreams and what lay in my father's heart. I was further able to believe that these vehicles and I shared whatever molecular structure was common to flesh and metal. Maybe it wasn't DNA. Whatever it was elemental. Okay, we're going to leap ahead here. I mean, we're going to really leap ahead here. All right. 15 years later, quick synopsis, I dropped out of grad school and took up my place in the trades. I really fell in love with tree work, arboriculture they call it, and I was a professional tree climber. I loved it. Way better than grad school. Okay, I've established my tree practice, and I'm buying my second pickup. And the name of this chapter is Prodigal Dude. Flash is a 302 V8 1972 Ford wide-side F100 with a complete Ranger XLT passage, tinted glass, custom wheel covers, faux walnut dash, faux brocade upholstery, and a faux wood strip of indeterminate species runs the length of the truck, nose to tail. But it isn't the Navajo turquoise paint or even the high-five cab lights that finally sells me. It's the brazen 14-inch chrome air horn mounted on top of the roof. I wonder who might have added this particular option. A champion clog dancer, a 5-star taxidermist. Whoever it was, he sure smoked a lot of cool cigarettes. The reek of that menthol cigarette is unmistakable. The car lot is situated on the Asheville Strip between the Piggly Wiggly and Dad's favorite restaurant, an outfit called Mr. Steak. On the test drive, I find the Ford I-beam suspension as good as people say, while the front wheel disc brakes are superb. An aftermarket hot rod muffler produces a refined snarl. While it's true this Ford has a pampered vibe, after 6 tough love years with my previous GMC stripper, I decided I owe myself a little style. The salesman was a dog-faced man with sweaty nylon shirt. I hand him $2,000 cash, roll out onto the Asheville Tunnel Road, and head for my parents' house in Swannanoa. Along the way, I find the 8-track stereo doesn't work, and the air horn has actually been disconnected. On the other hand, the truck drives beautifully, but mostly unlike Jimmy, Flash carries no troubling memories at all. And it's August 1977. Voyager, the first intergalactic spaceship, is launched, and I indulge in a moment's affinity. In short order, I will be Colorado bound, with my trade, my nimble wits, and a pimped-out F-100. I'll soon traverse the American plains on the route of the pioneers. When Flash and I returned to my family's home, a self-loading log truck is there preparing to haul the last of the dead pine wood away. I'm blocked from the shadow of the stricken conifers. The white gravel drive is startlingly bright, and the gracious Carolina twilight pours through an understory of sassafras and ironwood. If I expect my parents to fuss over Flash, my new truck, I've got it wrong. My new Ford is completely eclipsed by Mom's anxiety over my moving, my coming move. She's certainly disappointed things didn't work out with my latest girlfriend. But on the other hand, she's been worried about me since I was born. Her distrust of medicine dictated a home birth where an undiscovered RH factor really did me in. It's not impossible Mom feels she owes me one. But much as I love her, it's hard to forget her blood cells once tried to kill me. Additionally, no one in the family ever moved west before. For that matter, no one ever worked the hard knock trades either. The day of my departure, Mom gave me a paperback King James Bible. 5th and 21st Psalms are highlighted, I imagine, to comfort clueless wanderers like me. Now I know what you're thinking, Mom, I say, trying to jolly us through the goodbyes. What, she says, hugging me too much to keep things light. What am I thinking? That I'm like the prodigal dude who flees where none doth pursue. It's not the prodigal dude, she says curtly. That's the wicked flee where none doth pursue. Yes. Nothing cheers Mom up more than correcting my scripture. But I have to acknowledge, between my spectacular lack of success with women and my high-angle profession, I show a knack for causing her distress. Anyway, the question of whether I'm fleeing or following my star on this adventure is just a matter of how you look at it. Maybe I've simply taken to heart the uniquely American notion that there's nothing in your life so fucked up and broken the bold move west can't fix it. Oh. Okay, now we're really going to jump ahead. All right. Okay, at this point, I've been writing and found my place out west, and in the course of all this, I received a very generous fellowship at Stanford University, and I went to Stanford for a few years, and a lot of things happened, and a lot of things didn't. And this is about returning home. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get my lighting right here. Okay. Returning to Missoula proves more complicated than we'd thought. This is me and my wife, Carol. White Carol's sitting right there. Aww. I know we're in for it when the U-Haul drop-off clerk refers to us as you California guys, then charges us extra for going off-route. Meanwhile, the University of Montana is ambivalent about my job prospects. The people I speak to are especially disinterested in my glowing Stanford evaluations, and Caroline finds the job market in Missoula flatlined as ever. Our Montana return is anticlimactic at best. In our absence, did the town turn chilly on us, merely indifferent? Might we have just as well gone on to Cornell, where Caroline had another gig? I'm jarred by the thought I blew it at Stanford, and for all the doors that opened there, Montana was bottled up tight. My novel's still out there making the rounds, but I sense my agent's losing interest. So much depends on my selling it that I fear it won't bear that kind of weight. I'm told in these circumstances it's best to start a new book, but I'm hamstrung by a sense of collapse. Meanwhile, Carolyn makes a unilateral decision of her own, choosing to return to U of M as a grad student for her MFA. This move fosters plenty of argument. I suggest that following a 2-year fellowship, most people would consider the MFA degree redundant. Carolyn points out she's not most people.
Yes.
Damn. Sorry. It's hard to read that. She reveals she also wants to teach. My heart falls. Her plan ensures the two of us will compete on every career level. Publications, prizes, jobs, the works. She suggests I still owe her one for not favoring the Cornell option. Yet I was convinced we would break up there. I don't know why. Maybe it was just a feeling we'd finally run out of luck. With autumn on the way, we're back in our beloved Craftsman Cottage. But in real time, Missoula, there's a block-long line of writers at UM hustling for adjunct work. I suck it up, take my place among them, and keep applying for tenured jobs. I console myself with the fact a mainstream agent still peddles my crypto-Celtic novel, but it grows clearer all the time, nobody gets it. When I tell Seamus Heaney about my project, he's delighted and writes, "Go astray, Fred," in my copy of his book. In spite of this, beyond me, Seamus Heaney and a small group of hardcore lovers of 4th century Anglo-Saxon nature poetry. Very few are familiar with the saga of the old-star chieftain Mad King Sweeney. Under such circumstances, it is just a matter of time till I get a call from an old tree customer named Scott. He says he heard I was back in town and wondered if I was still in the business. Do you mean by that the business of trees? Scott hesitates a second. Well, sure, he says, what else? I want to tell him exactly what else. I want to tell him I was this close to being a writer and teacher of national stature, except it turns out I'm not. Instead, I tell him, come to think of it, Scott, I am still in the business. What have you got? Twilight, late autumn. I shake the dust from my climbing gear, toss it in the back of our used Subaru, then cross the Clark Fork and head up the Rattlesnake Creek drainage. Scott's house is west of Mount Jumbo, just a block from the lower trailhead. A retired fish, wildlife, and parks pilot, Scott is generally calmer than most, but he paces the yard fretfully as I pull in the drive. A storm front masses to the west, and you can feel the temperature drop. Scott comes over and shakes my hand. So you're out of town for a while. How was that? He asks. Short answer, it was fabulous. I shift my gaze to the bolt cottonwood looming 80 feet over his porch. There's a ladder resting against the trunk and a feline silhouette hunched on the lowest branch about an arm's length from the ladder's tip. It looks like a pretty straightforward snatch and grab style rescue, but the fact that the cat is still up there belies this assessment. Is that your guy? Scott nods. That's him. How long has he been up there? Since halftime Packers-Vikings game yesterday afternoon. Well, he'll be dehydrated and famished, so that should work in our favor. I hope so, says Scott with a concerned but genial grin. It's supposed to be 20 below tonight. On this information, I suit up, clip the day pack to my climbing harness, and head up the tree, smooth and quiet as I can manage. When I reach the basal crotch, I loop my line through an overhead branch, tying with my faithful three-coiled prusset, then tiptoe out the big lateral toward the quaking feline, bunched up like a hedgehog in the middle of the branch. I call down to Scott, what's his name? Light Bulb, he calls back. Old family name? If you ask my daughter, I guess it is. I remove a 4-ounce pack of frisky giblets from my pocket, open it, extend it to the half-petrified animal. In my best cartoon falsetto, I ask, "Are you getting hungry, little guy?" My plan is foolproof in its simplicity. I give him a whiff of Friskies, and when he comes close, I nab him by the scruff of the neck. And zip him in the knapsack before he even knows what hits him. I performed dozens of these rescues, but Light Bulb will have none of it. Savagely, he bats the Friskies away, dashes up my arm, bounds off my shoulder, and with a primal yowl, scrambles over my face and into the overhead whirl of branches. "You pea-brained little twerp," I shout. "What's going on up there?" says Scott. "Your cat," I tell him, "he's being difficult." The storm is now upon us. The wind picks up and we're losing our light. In the next hour, Light Bulb and I repeat this exercise several times, him climbing ever higher, me in hot pursuit. Finally, at 70 feet, we at last run out of line. Terrified and exhausted, Light Bulb comes unhinged. He crawls up to the very apex of the main stem, clings to a branch so insubstantial it barely holds his weight. But even when I'm fully extended and on my tiptoes, the cat remains a foot beyond my reach. Ears flattened, eyeballs glowing with terror, Light Bulb shakes uncontrollably. "Wow," I observe, still in falsetto. "We're maxed out, Mr. Wolf. What's your big plan now?" I clip into the main stem with my lanyard, apprise the situation, moments potent as any I can recall. It's getting dark, the temperature is dropping like an anvil. I'm a grown man pushing 50, a stanky fellow in fact, and I'm high up a cottonwood talking to a cat. If he seizes up now, I know he'll never survive the night. In the midst of this galvanic wildness, I see my place in the world as never before. The climber Yvon Chouinard calls such moments realized ultimate reality. With this in mind, I prepare to do the only thing left, grab hold of Light Bulb's branch and give it a shake. Before I have a chance, with a tremendous leap, Light Bulb frogs out like a skydiver and vanishes into the void. By the time I rappel down, my fingers are numb. Snow pelts the ground like confetti. Light Bulb sits on his front porch eating smoked oysters out of the can. All this time, the guy's holding out for oysters. I said, "It appears so," says Scott. "Help yourself if you don't mind sharing." I said, "I'll pass." "Your rescue was kind of radical," Scott continues, "but I see you had no choice. So what's the damage?" "How about $50? Scott gave me a $100 bill, and I don't try to argue. Sure, it wasn't perfect, but it was a rescue, all the same. I pocket the C note, coil my line, pack my gear, and head out. It begins to snow in earnest. Darkness settles in. I crank up the Subaru's heater and turn on public radio in time to catch the Flying Dutchman Overture by Richard Wagner. It's been a long time since I felt this good. All the realized ultimate reality stuff, that was Sweeney's double note of penitence and mellish, sure, pure and simple. Light Bulb's mind-blowing leap, a pairing of necessity and madness. Clearly these elements are where I belong. Otherwise, I'm another academic wannabe, grading boring-ass papers and snuffling after crumbs from some departmental table. How lucky I am to have this readout. True, it's not long on security. Certainly, it's not what you'd call career track. But I can remember fondly when I didn't even know what career track meant. Thank you very much. I'm prepared to take questions.
the microphone.
What? Ditch the microphone. So could you hear any of it?
No, it sounded great.
I can.
Okay.
Kids in the
Well,
back.
I'll give you a copy of the book. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
No, I asked you to use it, and then it was like, it's just poor audio quality.
Well, geez.
It's not for
Sorry about that.
Question?
Let's all have a drink.
What are you driving now?
I'm driving a 2006 Tundra with 100,000 miles on it.
Yes.
Hell of a truck.
What color?
I'm done with Detroit and all that Detroit iron.
Me too, I've got a Tundra too.
Well, I knew there was something about you from the moment you did. All right, Scott. I like you more and more. Yes.
But you made me realize I grew up with a Blue Mama GMC, big Suburban, like one of the first, and Mustard, that was a Chevy, and then Sparky, that I think was a Ford. So I was.
That sounds like a Ford. Yes.
Yeah. With a 12-tune horn and a walkie-talkie that you could broadcast, so you could scare the shit out of pedestrians.
That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
They deserve it. Yeah.
I think Elise said it.
Oh, I was wondering when you're writing humor, does that like come out in the first round, or do you go over it and eventually it becomes really funny? I mean, is it something that you develop, or is it something that just pops out?
I don't know. It's just the way I write. You know, I like a laugh now and then.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are many things in my life that are well deserving of a laugh. You know. Put it that way. But, yeah, you know, I want to see everyone have a good time.
Did you ever do tree work with Harpole?
Are you kidding me? I was in business with him.
Yeah.
We founded Tree Incarnations.
But you still have all your limbs.
God.
No comment. No comment. He's a great guy, but boy, does he have bad luck.
You might be a little inattentive at moments.
Something like that. Yes.
What's the common thread between Michigan, Colorado, and Montana?
I don't know, but there is one. I mean,
I know.
It's not official, but
We're only on the Michigan and Colorado, so I'm curious.
where are you guys
We're
from?
from Michigan.
Well, for Christ's sake.
I know.
Vilcoma.
You dirty dog. Oh my gosh, I was like, family? No, but I wondered, like, there's something about that story that you said the line about the West, and I was like, what? I need that bumper sticker. I don't even like bumper stickers, because why would you do that to a truck?
I don't believe in bumper stickers.
Oh, that's a good question. I should ask that question. How do you feel about, because it's really interesting. It's usually in America only, bumper
I'm
stickers.
proud of the fact there's not a bumper sticker on my truck. You know? Well, you know, they might get you in trouble.
Or make you friends, TBD.
But yeah, where are you all from?
We're from like the west side of the state, Michigan. Yeah, he's from Grand Rapids. I'm from northern Michigan.
Okay.
And then we spent 10 years in Colorado.
I don't know. We were just talking about how many
We're from Fremont.
how many people ended up out west being writers who are from Michigan.
We're just
And we came
wanderers.
out with a half a dozen anyway. And there's no doubt there's more. But who knows? When I first moved to Missoula,
Yeah.
I ended up in a building, apartment building with, I think there were 6 apartments in it, and they called the building Michigan Flats. And I went, what's with that? He said, well, from there I was from Michigan. You know, how did we all end up there?
We love cars.
It was mysterious.
Road trips.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's the common thread, is you just wander far enough. California's too far.
Yeah, but some of them were on their way to Alaska.
That's also too far.
Oh,
I think it's hunting, you know, hunting, Northwoods.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, we're following your life and we didn't even know it.
I really tried not to think about that.
I don't know that you could create a club.
Yeah, well, I'm willing to bet there is one.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison and
Yeah.
Oh,
Harrison,
Harrison,
Wayne.
Hemingway, you know, I mean, there's so many, yeah.
What made you start loving writing?
Pardon?
Was anyone in your family a writer?
As it turns out, my big brother was a journalist in Los Angeles, and it's fair to say that, you know, he introduced me to books, and rest his soul.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I thought if he was to ever take me seriously, I'd better be a writer too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No pressure.
He was insufferable. But what a swell guy, you know. Yeah.
Your favorite truck and why?
Okay. You know, I had several trucks that were real dogs, and I had a number that were really aces, but I really liked a simple, homegrown D100 Dodge half-ton pickup with the lion-hearted 318 V8 and a 4-speed. It was a great mountain truck. It wasn't even a four-wheel drive. It was just a terrific truck. And geez, I took it in the woods when we were doing Forest Service cuts in Colorado, and then I drove it all the way out to the flesh pots of Provincetown, Massachusetts, which we saw such things there. But there was I put a homemade camper on the back of it, which looked kind of a lot like a chicken coop. It was tongue and groove with a pitched composite roof and big sky mud flaps. And it was a sensation in Provincetown, I'll just say that. They'd never seen anything like it. Everyone knew where I lived. Yeah. And then we drove it all the way back to Montana, and it caught fire on the way back, but wasn't the truck's fault. A poorly engineered load on the back of it. But, and then Carol and I went on out to Alaska it's all in the book.
Oh yeah.
We went on up to Ketchikan from there.
You should explain
Okay,
why
why did it come?
She's like, I don't want you to blame.
It had a wooden bed, and we packed a lot of stuff in it on the way back, and it was we overloaded it. But we had twice as much stuff going back as we had coming out, and it compressed the springs, and the tailpipe had a little loop over the axle, pressed the wooden bed on top of the tailpipe, and we had a fire, and
right over the Massachusetts border.
yeah.
Oh
my God!
Yeah.
Skis,
Big bougie.
typewriters, manuscripts.
Wow.
Bunch of manuscripts.
It's like a
with
Viking
good
death,
ones.
but no water.
What's that?
It's like a Viking death, but no water.
Well, I had fire extinguishers, but it was such a fire that it took more. They were puny, and it was they were overmatched. And finally, Carolyn, she had on a red sundress, and
As one does.
traveling cross country.
Yeah.
She
Smart.
kind of dropped a strap and went out there. She dropped the strap, and a trucker stopped immediately, and he bounced out of his truck with his giant 50-pound extinguisher and put it out pronto.
Good job, Karen.
But then we kept on going.
Did the manuscripts ever get rewritten?
Sorry?
Did the manuscripts ever get rewritten?
No, but they were crappy. Actually, I think
It was a good thing.
it was a good thing. Oh, thank God.
House fire.
Are you still based out of Missoula?
Pardon me?
Where are you based out of now?
Oh, I live in Missoula.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm retired from the arborist profession.
Yeah, that's
Um,
trucks and trees. I haven't heard that combo in a bit.
well, stick around.
I'll read your book.
Buy the book, see the movie, man.
Oh, we're ready for the movie. Let's go.
I'm not.
Who would play you in a movie?
Gary Cooper, I guess.
Okay. You were ready for that. You have thought of that. I
Yeah,
Googled
who
who that is.
Tommy Lee Jones is really interested in my other book.
Really?
Rebuilding the
Random.
Indian. But, and he was making a lot of noise, and then I talked to some people and I said, Tommy Lee Jones is interested in my book. And everyone said, oh, Tommy Lee Jones, he's interested in everybody's book.
Aww.
So much for that. True story. Scott's leaving.
I love the placement of that. That's my favorite.
Just shut the door, Scott.
Yeah. Or listen, TBD.
What's that?
Are you done? Are you writing essays next? Like, what's next?
I do a lot of magazine work,
Ooh.
and I'm writing anything that's a short form. This project was
It was your memoir.
huh?
It was your memoir.
Well,
By accident.
yeah, but my first book was really a memoir by accident. I didn't know it was a memoir until they marketed it as a memoir, and I went, wow, do you remember that? I'll be damned. But in any event, yes, I write about my life, and
Yeah.
my life never ceases to amaze and appall me. You know?
And amuse us.
And amuse us. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tree?
You know what? As a forest tree, I really like the Douglas fir. I think it's so elegant and so beautiful. And as a urban tree, I like the linden, Tilia cordata. Yeah, it's a great street tree and it's a great yard tree. And I've planted a lot of them in my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No complaints. Yeah. Well, let's all get some shooters, man.
Uncle, I'm